this is what happens when you have a quantity of something and then you add more to it. This is dilution. The principle is so simple that a child can understand. And you can create this little science project at home. Sorry, you can have your tea back. Okay. But the principle is called dilution. And when you print $5 trillion and you put it into the economy, you have diluted the value of the money. So for instance, if you had a minimum wage at some amount, and somebody was making minimum wage, and they were still making minimum wage after this money was printed, they actually are making considerably less in terms of real dollars. It's dilution. So the $5 trillion that we printed, I would argue, is the primary source of inflation. You know, we can say, well, eggs went up because feed went up, fuel went up because there's a war in Ukraine. You can find a lot of excuses for various different industries. But what is the probability that every price went up all at the same time? You can't blame them on specific supply chain problems. The thing
how do you explain the global?
Yes, I'm glad you asked me that, Professor Raskin. Because they did the same thing in Europe. They did this everywhere. They printed their own equivalents of the Federal Reserve and treasuries, created their own money out of thin air. Mm-hmm. It may be the only thing that saved our dollar is that everybody else did the same thing to their currency. And so the question is, right now we're coming up on the debt limit. Why isn't anybody proposing to print more money? Why aren't the economists proposing to print more money? Because it is poison. When you print money, it is poison to our economy.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting it more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and you know, when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, please like and subscribe if you do like what you're listening to. Please inform your friends and family and spread it all over social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works, because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that it is all planned out. Now, I want to thank those who purchased the books Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book. Remember, the New World Order book shows you how the world really works, and it is definitely time for you to wake up out of that sleep, especially in the times that we're in right now. And 2024 is going to be one of our most entertaining years. We have the presidential election. We have the drums are beating. We have the emerging markets going to be flipping the switch on the fourth industrial revolution. And they finally start to cut rates. And we know Japan is going to start raising rates. And those trillions of dollars that are sitting in money market accounts are going to start flowing over to the emerging markets. And we know the master magicians are about to set up that distraction so they can cut rates while we still have inflation. And in the fourth quarter, once the election is over, the movie begins. And also, guys, I want to thank those who purchased the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, much love to those who donate to the Cash App, Patreon. Much love. Keep it coming. Guys, if you're not a part of the Patreon, make sure you're donating to the channel through the actual Cash App. But guys, this next Bitcoin and crypto bull run is going to be a utility run. So you want to make sure you have the cryptos that have real utility. And much love to those who are shopping at both stores. Keep it coming. And of course, guys, we get into Bitcoin and cryptos first.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And right now, we have Bitcoin and crypto moving up. We also have the NASDAQ moving up. But overall, we have the stock market flat. Now, don't forget, we have Bitcoin and Ethereum futures contracts tomorrow. I do expect us to have a small pullback. But then on the weekend, we're the only game in town. Now, we have Bitwise executive Jeff Park says Bitcoin could hit 92,000 if Trump wins. And is this possible? Yes, it is. The only reason why it is possible, though, is because of the Fed. If the Fed really does cut November and December, you're going to have a lot of liquidity inside the market. But if we have a geopolitical event, stocks and cryptos can dump bad. So remember, guys, the only thing we have to do is pay attention to the Fed and these geopolitical events, and we'll know where the market is going. But if the Fed is cutting rates and then we don't have any geopolitical event, of course, we're going to be moving up. But we know next year this government deficit has to be cut. And that means that stocks and cryptos are going to take a hit. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. Now, don't forget to pay attention to the actual indicators. We have yield rates pulling back slightly, but as we can see, yield rates are still high. We have the dollar right now down, but again, still high. We have volume in crypto right now up. We have Tether and USDC. And then, of course, guys, we have the Fed. Repo at 270 billion yesterday. Make sure you're pulling that on a daily basis during the week. And we have the Fed meeting in 2 weeks, right after the election. And Jerome Powell told us that they're going to be in a rate cutting cycle. We're going to see if he sticks to his word, because we clearly see inflation is still here. But if he does cut rates over the next 2 months, like I stated, we're definitely going to get a pump. The only thing we have to do is look at the geopolitical events, and we definitely hear the drums are beating. And I went over this a couple of days ago, but we're starting to see the power of Chainlink. It teams up with 8 major players to launch an AI-powered initiative tackling unstructured financial data. But we know Chainlink is teaming up with these 8 major players to allow AI to take over without a human involved. And the second videos that I've been bringing you is showing you these AI agents that are about to take over the workforce. And of course, the mainstream media is telling you the AI agents are there to make your job easier, to help you out. But guys, we know they're there to replace you. And just like the Fed, all these corporations are moving in lockstep. They're not competing with each other. They're moving in lockstep and pushing this fourth industrial revolution. They all have the AI agenda. They're all going to be using these digital currencies for this new digital economy, whether robots, algorithms, and drones take the economy over, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And that's the reason why it's so important for you to educate yourself and your kids to get them ready for this fourth industrial revolution. Because we know 99% of people are not only not educated, but they know nothing about it. And that is so amazing. But they stay distracted on things that don't matter. And while the sheep sleep, the NWO builds. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now we have the Bitcoin, Ethereum spot ETFs, BlackRock, Fidelity, and Grayscale. Bitcoin, Ethereum spot ETFs right now are up. Now getting over into a little crypto news. We have Uniswap's permissionless bridging goes live across 9 networks. And that's Ethereum, Base, Arbitrum, Polygon, OP Mainnet, Zora, Blast, Railchain, and ZK Sync. And again, guys, with these blockchains, they're coming together. Interoperability is what's so important. And DeFi is definitely the new banking. And digital ID will definitely be embedded. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now we have tokenization protocol Midas launches yield-bearing token that pays out returns in Bitcoin-denominated assets. Also, we have Base plans to introduce fault proofs this month that will eliminate control by a single entity. Now, make sure you watch the video I did last night. We have Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse on the reset after the U.S. election. And what have I told you guys? Whoever becomes president, their job is to land us in this fourth industrial revolution. And they're going to hand the keys over to the next president in 2028 to put the sheep inside the metaverse. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, 2028, 2029 is going to be wild. And those who've been with me from the beginning know why. And then lastly, we have Intel and Bank of America backed blockchain startup R3 weighs options, including a sale. And this is definitely not a startup. R3 has been around for a while and also have been working with the central banks. Remember, guys, they'll take your technology and use it, but they're not going to allow you to replace them. But we know R3's technology definitely works. So this is just letting us know they're ready to flip that switch on the fourth industrial revolution. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. But that's all I have for you. Don't forget about the books. Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.